Assieds-toi là. Mais je l'ai mangé. C'était pas comme moi, mais je l'ai mangé.
Guys online, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
So, Marcella, we can hear you.
Marcella, no.
Yes, we hear you.
Aha!
She's right there.
Yep.
So for the gang online, we might go on screen share.
Yes. It's the screen share.
For the gang here. I'll tell you the HDMI.
And screen share.
Yeah, the sound's just gonna come through over here. Better for you, know?
And that's where you put my favorite spot.
Oh, we're gonna have some trouble. We're gonna have some trouble. Hey, Dan.
But at least I can sit with my friend Svetlana, because first thing this guy did, he just.
Split you guys up right away. Yeah.
Third day.
Yeah.
And then he's bitching, the guy, Svetlana, you know.
Hey, it still worked out. It still worked out, so worked out well. Yeah, exactly. I put Sophie next to you, so it worked out. No, when I split up Svetlana and Alina, and then Alina's like, well, Alina's like, well, I could have spoke to somebody next to me, but she's like, well, there was a driver next to me, so I couldn't.
That's better.
Share screen. Am I going?
Wait a second.
Hmm?
Go on the YouTube.
Hi, guys online.
Can you guys hear us online?
Are we good? Can you guys hear us? Yes. Amazing. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get right into it.
Enjoy, guys.
So, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And you guys tell me what this actually means. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
Mindset is about growth.
Adrian, you're such a genius, man.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. What would we do without you, right?
Yeah. Class dismissed.
Okay, guys, we're done. Let's go.
About restricting, like you think that's it, this is it. You don't think there's anything can change.
Mhm.
And growth is more, okay, I'll evolve with this, whatever the circumstances, I adapt, I change.
I adapt, I change, I learn. Who can accept that? Who can accept that? That things evolve, can you accept that? Yes. So raise your hand if you can accept that you can change and you can evolve.
Without self-negotiation or after before.
Well, self-negotiation is another class. We could talk about that on another day. So what's the difference between both? What's the difference between both?
Don't make me say that a fixed mindset is fixed. You guys contribute.
You are hilarious.
What about perception?
Yes. How do you know if you have a fixed mindset?
You wouldn't know.
You don't
Eventually, you think you're on the growth side. but
You're
you
absolutely
actually-
right.
But you actually have this and you're not going to change.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
One of them, you're repeating the same thing over and over again, versus the other one, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. to try something new.
Yes. That's exactly it.
New concepts and ideas.
Yes, you find it tough to accept new concepts and ideas. In fact, you will reject them right away. This can't be right.
Disconsider.
Mhm. So how about I'm going to give you guys a couple of indicators on what fixed mindset is, and maybe you might discover in one area of life, you may have a fixed mindset, because just because you believe in growth mindset doesn't mean you think like that. And you could think about it in 3 different categories of life, but not in all. Would you be okay with that if you discovered that? And if so, would you be willing to work on it?
As long as it's just one.
As long as it's just one, that's it. If it's more than one, that's it. I can't handle more, but you know what? That's how we chunk it down, right? We chunk it down by one at a time. Does that make sense? All right. So my first question to you is, when you're not good at something, do you easily give up? Write it down.
At the beginning or in the process.
When you're not good at something, do you easily give up? Write down the on, and you know what? No one is looking at your sheet. It's only for you. I'm just gonna look at my work. Do you easily give up?
I give up again. Depends how important it is. Depends how important it is.
Okay.
Like I cannot roller, I can pronounce roller blades. I try, it's shit, I give up. I'm comfortable with fixing, but I don't give up, I keep pushing it. Depends.
Okay, first of all, who thinks rollerblading is shit? First of all, that's what. So it's shit because she's not good at it. Did you hear what she just said? Uh-huh. So when do you decide that something is important enough to persist at it? When do you decide that something is important enough for you to stick to it?
You want to.
What it will bring you? What else?
Well, it's a feeling of enticement, of intrigue. right?
Intrigue. Would you have to be intrigued by something to start it? So were you intrigued by rollerblading?
By the result that it gives.
Like the,
Which is
the look?
back. No, the result on your eyes. But there are other alternatives that I'm good at, and I chose something else.
That's why rollerblading shit now. We've decided.
Yeah. But a challenge.
No, But I love understanding how people think, because when you first start something, you think you can miraculously be great at it.
Yes.
Just one.
No, I'm serious.
Sometimes there's something you might not show at, but people, most of the time, you have to practice makes perfect.
Right. So if you're naturally good at something
Thank you.
and you say, I'm good at this and I'm going to stick to it, but if I'm bad at it, I'm going to give up. That's a fixed mindset.
Talent only ever takes you so far, and there's a whole bunch of us that are naturally gifted at things, and when hard work starts to be the building block you have to apply to that profession, to that endeavor, you give up because you will have felt the ease with which you've started.
The path of least resistance. So you're really, really good at something.
Next solution is to press fail.
So then you're really good at something, you start going down, but then after that, you have to learn step 2, 3, 4, 50 of it. And then you realize you actually need to practice to actually get there to that level. And then you say, I'm going to give up. Growth mindset, fixed mindset. Try to figure out where in your life do you give up so easily. In some areas, you can't just give up, like being a parent. You can't just say, nah, I'm done. Okay, can somebody come pick them up? Actually, I'll pay for them. Somebody come get them. You cannot give up. Try to figure out where you easily give up. Where do you easily give up? Next question. Do you believe that hard work can get you far in life?
Yes.
No.
Yes. No.
It's consistent work that gets you far.
That was really cute. Do you believe that hard work will get you far in life?
Stephanie, I'd like you to quote me on that, please.
Done.
You believe it'll get you far in life?
No.
Why?
Because hard work can be applied to individual endeavors. And individual endeavors such as, for instance, plowing the field or hand picking potatoes won't necessarily take you far. Whereas consistent and meaningful work will end up actually producing the most value, right? If you are one of those people that can work hard consistently, yes, that's excellent, but that ends up burning most people out. So consistent.
Burning people out. Did you hear what he just said? Burning people out.
What is hard work? Yeah. Yeah, it's different for everything.
Uh-huh.
That's the big work should be hard. It should be consistent.
Tell me who's consistent here?
I'd like to.
Oh, no. I said, who is consistent?
I'm consistent.
Raise up your hand. I'm watching you guys online as well.
Consistently.
Are you somebody who considers themselves consistent?
No.
Okay, write it down. Write it down. I love it. Did you hear that? In workouts, yes, absolutely. In prospecting, right? So again, when I ask you, are you consistent? It's like saying, do you have a growth mindset? I don't know. Sometimes I have a fixed mindset and sometimes I have a growth mindset. And so here, this exercise is about self-awareness. Where are you guys in your life right now? And where would you like to be? Mm-hmm. So for him, hard work is consistent work, right?
Efficient work.
Efficient work. These are
Hard.
powerful words. Yes. Efficient. What does that mean?
You have to be productive instead of working hard.
Okay.
You can be productive in like 2 hours and do as much as hardworking people do in 8 hours.
How?
Focus.
You have to manage your time, have a schedule and all my theory stuff.
Oh, they can just put it all in a big box. Here you go. That's the answer to your question. Yeah, here we go. You know that big thick book? That one. Read that one.
5 minutes, really good point.
What'd you say? Oui, parlons s'il te plaît en français.
Moi, je pense que si dans la vie, on va réussir dans les 12 heures, on va réussir.
Oui.
Et si on lâche, on dit, ça va prendre du temps.
Alors, c'est l'attitude aussi.
Ouais.
Alors, l'attitude. Mhm. What about La détermination, mais ça vient d'où la détermination?
Ça dépend de mon caractère, ça dépend de ma façon d'être, ça dépend de ce que je veux.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux exactement? Si je veux quelque chose, je vais aller le chercher. Si je le veux pas, je vais pas aller le chercher. Et ça me donne quoi? Ça me donne quoi? À la fin de la journée, si elle est capable de faire du rollerblade, qu'est-ce que ça lui donne? Si vraiment ça lui donne quelque chose à la fin de la journée, elle va vouloir le faire. But if rollerblading just gonna give her exercise, hey, there's 1,000 other ways to exercise. Mhm. What about preparation?
Always be in advance.
How important is preparation? Do you believe that if you can go into a listing presentation and say, I'm just gonna wing it?
You might get lucky 1 on 10, but no. Because I've tried.
Only if you're a
Because I've tried it. This is from experience, yes. Only? When you said yin, I was like, excuse me, what did you say? I got you. It's a joke. Oh, everyone laugh now. Question number 3, do you feel threatened by other people's success?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely. Whoever said no is right.
Write down your answer. I want you to be honest with yourself. No one is looking at your piece of paper.
So I wasn't supposed to say that.
You can if you want.
It's not for you.
Do you feel threatened by other people's success?
If in the way, in the way that.
Oh, if they're really good at what they do, I must suck.
No.
No, no.
What they do, I can't do it. How can I do that?
But that's not a threat. The question was, do I feel threatened? So in your case, you don't feel threatened.
I feel inspired.
I feel inspired.
They do something right, I want to do what. and
I want to know what.
Is
Do you feel threatened?
disturbed? by the people's success because-
Disturbed.
Because you feel like you're not doing enough.
Like guilty.
Okay, so if it makes you feel like you're not doing it enough, could it make you feel like you're not good enough?
There are also some people, it's not sufficient that I must succeed, all others must fail.
That's the point.
It's a strong driver.
If I am threatened, that means I don't believe everyone can succeed. Some must fail. So if that person succeeds, then I am a failure.
Wow.
Ah.
That was.
So,
To come to failure,
right,
so much to be negative.
right?
That's a very important.
Why don't everyone human behavior to do that? But.
I'm gonna get into that.
Consciously choose to focus on this.
Maybe it's like in the animal mind, like a fight over limited resources, as success was the limited resource that we all must share. If you have 2 potatoes, that leaves me with 1.
There's plenty of potatoes out there, Adrian, I promise you. There's lots of potatoes out there, I promise.
It's all about cultivating an abundant mindset.
Yes.
Not thinking there's only 2 potatoes, but there's, 15,000 homes to sell this in this area, so it's. an abundant-
Lots of potatoes to sell.
Exactly. There's always someone moving.
I want you guys to realize what your answers are. And I want you to hear what other people's answers are. This is a window to your mind. How are you thinking? Where do you have a fixed mindset and where do you have a growth mindset? Next question. Do you often perceive feedback as criticism? Zimi seems to criticize me all the time. I'm first week of boot camp and man, he's already demolished me.
Yep, that's me right here. So
You're already in trouble, girl. Do you feel that feedback is criticism? Yes or no? Ooh, that's a smart answer. Depends on how they give it. If they say, you know what, your first call was shit. Criticism. Next time you speak on the phone, perhaps you should, not be whispering. You should be speaking at a louder voice.
But sometimes you need maybe not everyone, but you need the tough love.
Right, you mean the part when I said your call was shit? Is that what you mean? Okay, yeah, but if it's your first call,
Yeah, no.
that's, I think that's what she's trying to say.
After 2 times, 3 times, yes, no. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
So what's the shift for you when you see it from criticism to feedback or from feedback to criticism?
Depends who is coming from, where it's coming from.
Okay, so when would you see it as criticism?
So it really depends. So I knew Dimitri had good intentions and it was only good for us, so I never mind. But some random person on the street tell me, I will be offended.
Okay,
Yeah, it depends.
good intention.
I take it as a compliment. Me even wouldn't.
I like it. She's even flipped it around one more time.
You're really like for being too direct, I took it as a compliment, but I acknowledge somewhat maybe old people like this approach. I was told once that my muscles make me look like a man. I was complimented because, that's why.
It takes hard work to get there.
So complex as a man that I have bigger prices than you, I'll take it as a compliment.
Mm. I love that example. I love that
Is
example.
no criticism constructive if you perceive it as an outside point of view?
Sorry, Melissa just wrote, I'm very competitive and it puts me in question.
Sell it?
Melissa Masella just,
Said it puts me in question.
it puts me in question. How come? Melissa, we want to hear from you, darling. Oh, ask to unmute, yes.
Tell her it's for better.
Hey,
Hey,
hi, everybody.
tell us, what do you hear?
So it wasn't about the feedback. I was answering you about when I see someone else having success.
Yeah,
So I'm very competitive by nature, and I feel like it puts me in question on my abilities or what I'm not doing. So it's more of an introspective.
so instead of what you're not doing, instead of what could I be doing better?
More better.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that little shift that what are they doing that I'm not doing, instead of that being, look at me, I'm getting better and better in my process, in my journey, in my own activity. And competition is fantastic, but the minute that it starts impeding your production or your level of and affecting you, it's now affecting you by the negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I find it can also put me in a place where I feel paralyzed, so I'm not doing anything.
Yes.
And I know my twin Adrian feels the same way.
It's all about what you could be doing more better,
More better, you know?
Yes.
Thanks, Melissa.
Could that like stem from?
We don't hear you anymore, Yasmine. I think you're on mute. Yasmine,
I don't think she hears you, CD.
yeah, you're on mute. She's on mute.
Thank you. Sid, thank you for letting me know.
No problem.
So, how does it fuel you?
It's high octane fuel. It feels humiliating to know that someone else succeeds at things that I could as well.
One in a million.
It's not ego, it's just, but why in the 20% of this people perceive ego as toxic? If you build the world up to these things.
But you're bringing yourself down by saying that I'm worse because this person's better.
No,
Instead of saying I'm gonna improve myself, you're saying I'm bad compared to this person.
standards to drive you forward. We need people to push us to succeed.
But the
And
question was,
oftentimes-
how does it drive you? How does
For
it?
me, it's high octane fuel. It's
But Adrian is 1 in a million, we all know there is.
fire. It's
Not the.
So whenever I personally see someone succeed, whereas I fail, my mindset is not one of self-constraint. It's one of release. I then can try to do my best in order to exceed the result of the person that has previously exceeded me. So
It
it's,
works for you, but.
So now, let's look at this a little bit more. Now, he's saying through someone else doing better, it will humiliate me, yet motivate me to move me forward
in
Yeah, but
aspects
it's-
that I
isn't
want to
that
succeed in.
draining?
in the aspect you want to succeed in. What'd you say?
Isn't that draining before it fuels you? Isn't it the same type of energy to just see it as like?
I only ever
letting
succeed in
So-
adversity.
So now how about this, right? So what if I were to say all of this is about what you carry in your backpack? Okay, do we want our backpack to be heavy? Or do we want it to be light as a feather so that every single lesson that we learn brings us to the next lesson we need to learn?
I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%, but when a plane takes off, it burns as much kerosene as during half the flight, because that's when you need the most push. High performance.
I agree, but you're the only one who said that this was octane.
Because honestly, big, like, high quality performers, they can afford to cruise. They can afford to feel at peace and work out of a sense of stability and peace.
Do they?
When you're
Are you
taking
sure?
off,
Do they?
no.
I
when
bet you
you're-
always keep that fear inside.
The most successful, the people that I know that are successful, they all said the exact same thing, and that's before I had the self-awareness. When we were taking off, just as a metaphor, that's when we needed the most hate, the most access to this dark side of us, because that's the.
Must
highest
it be
octane
dark?
fuel.
Must it be dark? How many of you think it must be dark? How many of you think it can become this glowing energy that grows and grows just like the sun in which, oh, I'm still talking about octane.
When you cruise, yes,
No, that wasn't my question.
you know what I'm saying?
He knows what you're saying, but I'm trying to see what the consensus. Well, yeah, exactly. What's the consensus? Let's put that one on the table. Let's go back to that one, because then it comes back to what motivates you, right? And that comes back to culture. It comes back to breed. It comes down to a lot of it. What did you want to say, Alina?
I wanted to say that I understand what you mean. And whatever is said today makes me think of me in 2017, when I came to this company, but I didn't have the mindset. So I was looking at Christelle, I was looking at Matab, which is my great friend. I was looking at other people in Prospecting Center, and I knew that they were better than me and they were more successful than me. And that instead of thinking, oh, well, let me learn because I have all the tools, I thought I'm shit. Every day I was becoming more and more depressed, and I left. I quit. I left for my comfort zone to the agency where nothing was happening. So now it took me a few years and quite a few books to change my mindset. So now when I see the person who is more successful, I don't think that I'm less successful. I'm thinking, first of all, how can I get there? But the most important thing is not to compare yourself with anyone. Because Costa is amazing in prospecting. I'm not there yet, but I cannot compare myself with Costa because Costa has his own set of qualities and his own clientele. And me, I'm Alina, so I have my set, my clientele. And even if we do the same script, we'll do it differently because we're all different and there's so much business out there. So it's gonna be enough for him and for me. So I stopped comparing myself with Costa, with Christelle, with Matab. I was just, wow, those guys are cool, and you know what? I have my way, and I'll find it if I practice. That's what I do.
So now she's sticking in her own lane.
Yeah.
Look, she's sticking in her own lane. She's watching others say, wow, you're fantastic. You're fantastic. I'm going to stick in my lane. And she used one very powerful growth mindset term. She said one word. She said, yes. I am not there yet. That's the big cookie.
Yet it's not yet.
Yet. Yet. I am not there yet. Right? That is the biggest growth mindset word in anything. You can use it in anything that you want. Yes, please.
I wanted to just add that I really admire his courage because we were all there. And a lot of people might feel like him that didn't express it because, you know, they're still a little shy. but it takes self-awareness to make that change.
Yeah.
And it starts by admitting to it.
Yes,
And I feel like him saying what he just said reminded me of back in the days. I wasn't born that way. I worked towards that.
Exactly.
To get to a point where I look at others and I'm inspired instead of bringing myself down.
aha.
So it's really good. He's on the right track.
And that energy can be used in so many other ways to propel you in another direction that's so much faster. So I'm going to move to my next question. Do you find it important to look smart? To look smart? That's the question. Is it important for you to look smart and like a good mother when you walk into daycare? Does it? Yes, wait a second.
So clever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's a full question. It's got a, it's got, like, it's a full sentence. It's got a big letter in the front and it's got a little question mark at the end. So it is a full. So do you find it important? Do you find it important to look smart, to look busy, to give an impression to others that you may not necessarily be at?
It is, I don't have to stick it down there 5 times for every time.
Uh-huh. So write it down. Do you believe you can develop and change your traits, skills, and abilities? Do you
Compared to
believe?
what?
Which one?
That's why, you know, I think it-
Change your own. You, just you.
So I mean, I think in a binary fashion, so do you think it's important to look smart compared to what, looking dumb?
I think.
So I'm talking about the third perspective, that other people think you look smart.
For example,
The alternative.
like, for example, coming into the office.
Charming.
That- Again, it's my fault, 'cause I think binary, I don't think sideways, I think up or down, I think smart and dumb, I think handsome or ugly. You put it in a very good perspective, whereas you said, you can't necessarily.
Is it important for you to walk into a room and everybody thinks, wow, he's good looking? Or, wow, he's so smart. I'm throwing ideas at you. And I want you to understand, how do you think? Because through this, we're going to discover, where do you have a fixed mindset?
Now that you talk, is it important for you that we listen to you and we think, oh, the guy is smart because of what he's saying?
No, I'm
Genius is the word.
talking about inside things.
Smart's not enough.
Genius.
Yeah, but it's,
Yeah, never quit. Okay, what was the question?
I don't know.
Do you believe you can develop?
Why this- one of us-
Do you believe you can develop and change traits, skills, and abilities? Do you believe that you can develop and change traits, skills, and abilities? Depends on what.
What do you want to change? The
Mhm.
ones that we are struggling for a long time. The ones that are default, our nature. the ones that are not. Sometimes it can be very difficult. It takes time, a lot of time.
Okay, so if you really wanted something and all you needed to dedicate was time, would you put in the time?
For sure.
How many of you would say yes? Put up your hand.
I think we will, actually,
Until the middle, it's the.
so we actually understand what.
Mhm.
concept
The
of-
commitment,
the commitment.
right? So if I told you you wanted to build a new skill. And we spoke about this. And it would take you exactly 1 year.
1 year is.
1 year. Would you commit to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so write yourself a letter into the future right now. Well, not right now, when I leave. Write yourself a letter into the future and ask yourself, in a year from now, what skill do I want to have developed? What skill do I want to have developed, and be specific? What is the skill and how good do I want to be at it?
By nature, you can't. It's complete.
By nature, did you hear that?
We can change, we can talk in Spanish, but like, I don't know, it's so like the character types. Sometimes.
Is it character types? Because we're going to talk about that. Is it character types? I ask you, if there's something you really want, a trait, a skill, or an ability, and you really want it, will you commit to go out and get there in a time limit?
I think anyone
Example,
can learn
1 year.
anything they want.
Anybody can learn anything they
Yeah,
want.
It's, you just have to decide to do it.
Anybody, you know, when you see somebody really successful and say, why them, not me? Well, the only thing that holds you back is your skill, your ability, and your traits. Oh, yes, but you're gonna give me a yes, but Adrian.
I have tried so many times.
Yes,
To develop this skill,
yes,
and it always leads back consistent, always, it's not about the want.
yes.
Right now, it seems.
And you know what
so
consistency is? Consistency is a trait.
That you acquire or.
So we must start with consistency before we try to pick up rollerblading. Right? Sorry, I keep using rollerblading.
That makes me think of like actually doing it.
Rollerblading?
I don't like when it doesn't work.
Rollerblading?
Like skating and rollerblading and I was like, that's immediate.
Maybe order for you.
You can just decide you don't have to rollerblade, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Talking about developing the skills. I've read somewhere and it's really well said that if your desire is stronger than your fear, you can get it.
Yes.
If I really want my success and it's stronger than the fear of being on the phone, I can get it.
So who's gonna write that one down? Because that's big. If your desire is bigger than your fear, then you will have the drive to do it. But if your fear is bigger than your desire, you won't.
You don't want it strong enough.
You don't want it strong enough. Mhm. So what skills, traits, or abilities do you have enough devotion for that is bigger than your fear for you to commit to that in the next year? Right? Next question. Do you often blame others for your setbacks? It wasn't my fault, right? It was just not my fault. It was just not my fault. It was somebody else's fault. Mais c'est parce que c'est trop facile. C'est trop facile de dire c'est la faute de quelqu'un d'autre. C'est trop facile de dire que parce que la personne parlait à haute voix à côté de moi, j'étais pas capable de convaincre mon client à prendre rendez-vous avec moi. C'est juste trop facile.
Le marché détend, c'est pour ça il n'a pas beaucoup de business.
Oui. Alors, tu sais quoi? Je vais même pas aller au bureau.
Ouais, exact. Les coûts sont hauts, sont augmentés.
C'est trop difficile. Je vais rester en pyjama aujourd'hui. Mhm. How one little thing can trigger you to do no action at all. Mhm. I want you to pay attention to that. Do you blame others for your setbacks? Usually, if you're blaming others for your setbacks, it's because you're not in your lane. Stay in your lane. Mind your own business, not your neighbor's business. What did you want to say?
I was gonna say, for me, it's not people, but it's like situations or the environment. I'll blame like, oh, I feel like shit today. The weather's bad, so I'm tired, or it's like, it should be a no excuse mentality where it's like, oh, well, today I'll do more tomorrow, you know?
Mhm.
And that comes back to consistency as well.
So when I feel like that, I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to go. I work out, I take a shower, I get dressed, and I move my ass out of the house. Okay? Who's in control of you? Okay, and is that a good control or a bad control? Make it a good one. Nobody can decide for you.
That implies a separation between the mind and the body.
Adrian.
You said there are days when you're tired.
Yeah.
And you sit in bed. And you
Well,
just can't get up.
I'll still come, but
You're
like I
tired.
won't be productive or I
So
won't.
then-
You assumed.
So then she sees herself as a whole. Whereas she is both her body and her mind, rather than, creating.
Yeah, like
separation
instead of saying
between
I feel tired, I'm like, I am. tired.
So if you could say, if you associate the two, you could understand that your body's tired, but your mind still wants more, so you can try to push forward. I mean, it seems like a nice way to.
It is a very nice way. You know why? Because understanding that your feelings are not who you are. Feelings come and go in life.
Yeah.
Right? One moment you can feel awful and the next moment you feel fantastic. You are not your feelings that just flow in and out of you.
I have a solution for that.
Tell me.
My trainer taught me an amazing thing at the beginning. She said there are days that like you have your workout schedule, right? And there, like our work, we have a schedule, like morning prospect, so I have my workout schedule. But there are days that you're tired, you're not there, you have like low blood pressure because of it happens with humans. So she said, but you still have to be in the gym, but you know you won't be able to lift. So do the stretching. Do yoga,
Show up.
Show up.
Show
Do
up.
your best.
And forget
Yeah.
the rest.
Exactly. Practice the street, read the objections, like.
And it's almost like you're getting warmed up. Maybe you feel like going to do a couple of calls. You go ahead and do a couple of calls. Do something, right? Is better than not doing anything.
Yeah.
How about another question? Do you fear change?
No.
Well, obviously, you don't fear change, it's a natural response to the
Change is
environment.
uncomfortable.
Okay.
Fear it necessarily, but it could be uncomfortable because I know I'm gonna be like, I just moved. So I'm not scared of moving, but I was like, oh no, I gotta get used to all this grocery store, this, where, you know, it's
So,
strange.
so why would it be fearful instead of exciting? Oh my God, I can't wait to check out my new
It's
groceries.
Yeah.
It's really the self-talk.
Ah.
And it depends on the consequences, the amount of consequences this change will bring. So if.
You're absolutely right.
Put you in a uncomfortable position because of X, Y, Z, then. So it's very difficult.
So if we're all on a journey, you're on a journey, we're all on a journey. Do you want to fear your journey or do you want to be excited about your journey? Excited about the journey. Yes? Okay, so our fear comes in first. The first thing is fear, right? And if we just say, hey, fear, am I really scared of moving, of a new environment, of a new grocery store? Have a conversation with fear. Am I really scared of these things? Am I? So guess what? Then you change it. Then you change it.
I know, I know. The worst that can happen.
Then you change it. Okay.
What?
That would probably be feeling hold us back.
Who? Okay, so how many of you could describe yourselves as one of your traits as melancholy?
Oh, no, oh, boy.
So.
Explain the word melancholy. Describe it in your
In
terms.
layman's terms, it's the longing for a time that is long past. For a time, for an environment, for a circumstance. So let's say, where were you 5 years ago? Do you have a pleasant memory from 5 years ago that you could not reproduce today? Let's say you were at a coffee shop with a very good friend that you no longer speak to. So that conveys an emotion. That conveys an emotion of melancholy, knowing that you might never be able to reproduce that set of circumstances again.
Okay, or maybe even like, I used to be so in shape and now I'm. not.
So we're talking about a life living in the past.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh.
It's like an anchor.
Oh.
It's more so like an anchor. Past, you live in the present, but you can't.
You
move
can't.
beyond the present.
You can't.
You
It becomes.
When you can't, does that mean you're stuck with the anchor?
bound.
Bound to the anchor. So can I use the word stuck to the anchor?
I mean,
What does it mean when you're stuck? Does anybody know what it means to be stuck? We've already had this conversation. No change, not moving forward. What else? What else? What else?
You're living in the
Re-
future, we're in the
restless.
past,
You say restless.
When you feel stuck, you've decided you have no choices. Oh, yes. When you're stuck, you've decided there are no choices. You're stuck. Stuck means what? I can't move. Why can't you move? Because I have no choices. Okay, so allow yourself. What are your choices? Every time you feel stuck, what is my choice? Choice number 1, choice number 2, choice number 3, choice number 4, choice number 5. Guess what? All of a sudden, I can breathe. I can breathe. I have choices. Now, which choice you take is your choice. Right? Now you decide what direction you want to go, but you are not feeling stuck. So what if our talents, our intelligence, and our abilities you believed are ingrained? They're ingrained.
They're not changeable.
They're not changeable. They cannot be taught, learned, and multiplied. That is a yes. How many people you know think like that? A lot. I can line them up. I cannot learn more than I already know. That's it. Good night. I'm done. Imagine.
Or like, I'm stuck at this job.
I'm stuck.
At
Did you
this job.
Did you hear what you just said?
I'm stuck, yeah. It's not me, but someone I know.
No.
Like, I'm good.
You're so cute. You're so cute.
Well, now he's not saying anything.
What about failure is bad? Failure is bad. It's so bad that I might expose myself for a fake.
It's actually, it feels bad.
I may expose myself as a fake.
Well, I mean, I love we're also wise,
Fake.
but everyone's afraid of failure, just to be honest. No?
Doesn't make us stronger, right? The same. I mean, it's gives more power, more, to go forward.
Move forward.
I mean, no saying, because, it's your class, so.
Because the minute you leave out of there, I'm scared shitless, man. I feel like the biggest fake ever.
That's why I'd like to address it while we have you here, like while we actually have you here, because we all say, oh, I'm not afraid. Oh, yeah, failure, you learn from failure, you grow, but we're all fucking scared shitless of failing.
I never said I wasn't scared.
Scared, what is scared? What is the definition of being scared?
Remove the narrative, guard.
I'm scared to have an accident, so never drive.
Yes, that's a great example. You don't like it? Okay, use an example.
And yes, that's failure in driving.
But fear, that's what she's saying. Fear comes from where? What else?
Living in the future.
Not having skills. I don't know how to drive.
Are you scared right now to get up and go get a glass of water?
No,
Why?
just simple basic thought process.
Why?
There's no
Tell me why.
danger
What if
getting
it's your
a glass
first
of
glass
water.
of water?
What if it was guess what? You know that your legs are gonna be, you know how to get up from your chair. You know that your legs are gonna go one in front of the other. And it's gonna bring you where? Automatically to the cooler, because you know where the cooler is. And guess what? You know where the glasses are too. And when you take the glass, you know you're not gonna drop all the glasses. You know you're gonna take one and you're gonna fill the water, and guess what? You're gonna drink that water. In that process, there is nothing for you to fear. You know that process.
You're saying here's a choice.
I'm saying, if you're driving down the highway and you're scared to drive down the highway and head to your destination or go get your glass of water and you fear it, what could happen?
You could make your fears reality.
Yeah, you're gonna stumble and fall perhaps. What did you want to
But
say?
I think that when someone's fear of like failing in life, for example.
Yeah.
It's more of a fear that it's gonna diminish your self-worth. Like sometimes people, if you associate your career with your worth, you see that if you fail in your career, you're a failure.
Of course.
It's that kind of failure, because being afraid of driving and getting into a car accident, it's not the same type of fear.
Because you
It has
believe
nothing
you,
to do with
because you
your-
believe you are your career.
Well, I don't, but I'm just-
No, that was your example. No, but that's the example. You are your result. You are your career. You are not your career. You created a career, but you are not your career. And it's self-identification based on your results and on who you really are. But that's a whole other class, right?
The first time.
Today-
For the first time, it's scary. You jump into it. Like the first time I died, I was there and I was like, for like 40 minutes.
Yes.
When I finally decided to do it and I thought I would die.
Yes,
I started doing it over again. Today, it's a no-brainer. I just go get my glasses.
practice,
Exactly.
practice.
Exactly.
Here we're talking about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. I want you guys to discover where in your life do you have a growth mindset and where in your life do you have a fixed mindset. This is why we're here today, to be able to decipher both of them. So now I'm going to move on to what is a growth mindset. Now that we've well identified what a fixed mindset is, let's discover where we're moving towards. Okay, so you believe you can keep growing into a direction of a chosen life. You can keep growing in a direction of a chosen life. A chosen life. Everything you have today comes from choice because you brought yourself here. I know it's tough sometimes. Yes, I know.
Not 100% my choice. Not everything's your choice, but you have.
No, you don't control who you're born to. You don't control the culture you were born to. You don't control, there's a lot of things you're not in control of.
You're not in control to have this similar today, but we have it and we are enjoying it.
We
So
chose
we
to
have
have
it.
it.
Yes, but who actually, it was not our choice, but we are benefiting so much, so. We could have it spent in another way and wasn't as useful as it is now, you know, it was not our choice. But it benefit us or not benefit as much, so I believe it's not 100% by choice.
So if you believe you make good decisions, do you believe that you can be at the right place at the right time?
Yes.
Mhm.
But even with
You
bad
increase the
decisions,
possibility.
Yeah,
even with bad decisions, like in my life, and then I've been fought now, do you know what I mean?
okay. So who's made bad decisions in their life,
Everyone.
right? So are you gonna allow that to paralyze you? Or will you move forward? And if you move forward, will you choose to take that lesson in your little school bag?
Yes.
Or will you take the bad decision? Will you take the bad decision and the results of the bad decision in your school bag? Or will you take the lesson? I want you to think about that one. I want you to think about that one. How many times have you actually picked up the lesson? And not the bad story,
And not picking up the guilt.
right?
And being holy, why the hell did they take this?
That's called regret.
Years ago, huh?
Regret.
That's-
You learned something, you moved on, and you are exactly where you need to be today. Okay, number two, if you can harness any skill you want to attain, all you need is to focus on it, give it some practice, plant the seed, and it will grow. Now, sure, find patient, you can harness this, any skill that you want to attain. All you need to do is focus on it, give it practice, plant the seed, and it will grow. And it will grow. Now, this is the cookie. I got to ask you a question. Would you be acceptant if you were to plant the seeds and you're, we're planting cucumbers. We're just talking about cucumbers, planting cucumbers. Guess what? 3 months later, you've got a beautiful batch of wonderful, and everyone's eating some cucumbers, right? You put the seeds and 3 months later, guess what? You've got wonderful cucumbers. Wow, that was easy. What if you're planting bamboos? Ooh. Anybody know anything about bamboos?
Yes, I know.
Tell
They don't grow for a good half a year because they're developing the root system, and after 6 months, they go big.
Okay, it's 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. So imagine if her face just went.
How do you know that?
So imagine you spent 5 hard years. You're planting this bamboo. There's really nothing in the ground. It's been 5 years. And you need the faith that the roots are growing. 5 years. 5 years. Would you stick around to see the results of that one bamboo? 5 years. 5 years is a lot of years.
You have other bamboos? Do we have potatoes?
Can you accept that sometimes things take more time than you want to know?
That's right.
Are you ready to accept it?
Distorted vision
Bamboos?
of short-term events and long-term events.
Yes, because we live in a society of instant gratification. If I don't get it now, oh my God, the cucumbers takes too long, forget it.
We underestimate
Bamboos?
that.
What bamboos? I don't need bamboos. Okay, guys, this is a big one. Things take time, things take patience. Things take consistency. These are the different traits you must build if you want to build an empire of bamboos.
Really going on YouTube to watch how. So what helped you find it here? You know, the guy started as the how to plant. That really helped my mindset.
I find that one's so hard, like we're so impatient in everything in life. Like I want it now.
So what if you were to tell yourself that the skill that you're going to build for yourself, or the trait you're going to build in your character, is to learn to become patient? To learn to become patient. It is so easy to be unsatisfied right away, right? It's so easy. What if I told you life is about the opposite? It's about the journey to finding patience. Because the skills you gain in your life experience will allow you to become better and better at. Whatever you put in your school bag will allow you, whatever lessons you have brought yourself, allow you to get better and better at. AKA, it's called transferable skills. Whatever you used to do before you did that, they're in your school bag. Bring them. So that you can become better and better in what you do today. In the role you play in life. We were talking about this, Vanessa. The role you have in life as a mother, as a salesperson, as a business owner, as a C-suite individual in your company. You decide that role and take those skills and let them be transferable. Growth mindset. All right, I'm going to stop it here because I've got probably another 10 points to go on growth mindset. We'll re-pick it up. We will leave fixed mindset next week behind. We will just focus on growth mindset. Anybody have any questions?
We get it. Figure out later.
I have a whole 5 minutes. Trust me, I'm really efficient. Any questions, guys? Any questions?
Change, you accept, right? If you can change the situation, you accept, right?
So it
You change, you
depends.
adapt to the situation.
I prefer using the word pivot. If you're somewhere and you don't want to be there and want to change the situation, you have to think, what better situation do I want to put myself to first? Where is my goal? Where am I moving to? Right? Where am I moving towards? If you don't know where you're going, if you don't put anything to the GPS, you're not going nowhere.
I have to ask because for me personally, it's important. And start developing patience because just as you said, in a world of instant gratification, in a world of 1 minute videos where the content changes and refreshes the attention, and where we're practically moving into the attention span of a goldfish.
Yep.
How do you build patience?
So I'd have to say, do you want the easy answer or the difficult answer? The difficult answer is stop scrolling social media.
Okay, easier going.
Let's go easy. That's too difficult.
I've done that and I feel a difference. Back in school, I was able to read 1,500, 2,000 pages of
Yeah.
money. I'm barely able to go through my scripts without having to stop and get up and go to the bathroom and have a coffee, then I come back. Right?
So what would be the shortest attention span you believe you have?
I've stopped scrolling social media, so now I can factually commit to reading a book.
Oh, no. That wasn't my question.
Good.
My question was, what is the shortest attention span do you have right now?
Shortest attention span?
Yeah,
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay, great. For the next week, you'll practice doing 7 seconds. Can you do that? I love it. You start with really, really small chunks. If it was 5 seconds, do 7 seconds, time your 7 seconds. That was really easy. I got to 7 seconds. Look how good I am. You do that for a week. Then you do 10 seconds. Do that for another week.
I challenge myself sometimes not to touch my phone and I put a timer. And sometimes I go to touch it and I'm like, no, I said no. So that brings them not allowed.
So look at the struggle. Look at the struggle. But now what if you were to develop patience? So now we're trying to undevelop a skill
Yeah,
instead of developing skills that help.
but we're addicts. It doesn't help. That doesn't help the psyche. It doesn't help the inner.
Start with 7 seconds.
To be addicted to something.
Try 7 seconds. I'm telling you, this is one of the oldest techniques. You want to start working out? Start by putting on your running shoes. Right? You want to start by prospecting? Pick one person. It could be your mother if you want. I don't care. Mom, will you buy a house? Mommy. Start with small things. Once you put on your running shoes, guess what? Maybe you'll say, oh, maybe I should get dressed out in my pajamas. Get dressed. Maybe the week after that, you go for a 2-minute run. What happens if you go for a 2-minute run?
Probably go more.
Huh? This is ridiculous. I can go for more. No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do, you're not allowed to focus more than 7 seconds. How would you feel? Restricted. You want to do more. And it's creating that desire, propelling it into going into the direction that you want. If you limit yourself to just those 7 seconds, you're going to feel like a goldfish. The smartest goldfish ever. But you're still going to feel like a goldfish. Right? So you build on that, and then you get momentum. And then you get desire. And the next thing you know, you'll be able to pick up a 1,200 page book, and you'll be able to smooth right through it. Start somewhere. Start. Any questions online? No? All right, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Yasmine.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.